So in today's video, we'll look into a scenario in which Saudi Arabia forms an empire in 2024. And the first country they go after is Yemen. Because Yemen is fairly weak, as it's dealing with a lot of problems, including a civil war, which has been going on since 2011. Yeah, that's not really good. Well, it's not a big populated area. Everybody lives in this area with two major cities. This area is occupied by Houthi rebels, and this area is just occupied by Yemen's government, and some other places are occupied by other places. So it's pretty easy for Saudi Arabia to start their invasion, as they pretty much already have, well, aerial dominance, as they have been carrying out raids on Yemen, and Yemen has been being destroyed recently. But also, keep in mind in this video, the UN, NATO, and all major alliances are disbanded. Major alliances, because if all major alliances, I don't think NATO would let this happen. I don't think the world UN would let this happen. It's also hard to say, because sometimes I do let this kind of stuff happen. And now they decide to invade Djibouti. Why? Because they can. And this is also strategically located, so like it gives them the strait of, it's a Bab el Man, is that the strait? And now they decide to go after none other than Kuwait. What did Kuwait do wrong, you may be asking? Nothing. They also go to war with Qatar, because they don't like Qatar. They want to take Qatar's natural resources, I guess. They also want to take Kuwait's natural resources, because they're an empire, so they're probably stealing it all. That's besides the point, because empires take resources. Oh wait, isn't that what America does? Okay, maybe there are empires in our world. They just don't call themselves empires. With them going into Iraq, with this being called the Saudi-Iraqi War. Because the Iraq War was already stolen for a name. And the second Iraq War was already stolen. And well, they take Baghdad. Well, there's probably rebellions all over their occupied territory. And then in the north, before they can take the whole country over, the Kurds declare independence, forming the state of Kurdistan, I guess. Iraq capitulates. Well, is fully annexed. Saudi isn't at war with those rebels, and, well, Iran thinks that could benefit them. And now, when they invade there, we're not going to be realistic. We all know that Saudi Arabia would be defeated in 3 days if they invaded Israel. So we should just, let it go. Forget about the IDF's existence. Let's just forget about it, for the sake of this video. And well, Jordan completely crumbles to Saudi force. Well, at this point, the Saudi Empire is getting pretty strong. And well, Iran decides to create an alliance with this area in Lebanon. Because I think I got rid of their alliance. Who knows? And they declare war on Oman and the UAE. And the UAE's like, oh man, this is not good. Get it? Oh man, this is not good. I guess then again, you can say, can you believe Saudi Arabia is forming an empire? Yeah. You know what Iran's favorite strategy is in war? Running. Get it? Iran. Well, they crumbled. And didn't really make a big difference. As Saudi Arabia questioning what they should do next. Probably questioning their existence at the same time. As they decide to invade Ethiopia and Eritrea at the same time. Because they forgot that Eritrea has been independent for the last 30-something years. Almost 40 years. Probably is 40 years. I think it's 40 years. With them moving into northern Ethiopia with their goals. So then they move down and they manage to capture the capital. Well, Ethiopia agrees to the peace terms, which is not normal for Ethiopia, but go ahead and say that African empire. with Iran invading and establishing a puppet there. And well, Saudi Arabia decides to go to war with that puppet, the Saudi Empire. With them moving in and quickly capturing this area. But Iran isn't happy about this as they move into Iran. So Iran and Syria basically launch small invasions. Tell them to get out. With Syria even managing to do this, and Iran managing to do this, pushing into oil-rich regions of Saudi Arabia. And with an eventual front line like this, Saudi decides that the bigger threat is Iran. So they go after Iran, pushing them back to here. But Iran takes this opportunity to push them back into this puppet that they created. But that was a bad idea on Iran's part, as this causes Iran to fall out of Iraq. With Syria's offensive even getting further. But it can't get that far. And while they invade Iran, moving into this area, which includes the oil-rich region. And well, as they neutralize Iran, they're in a good position now. And while they start getting pushed back even further and further as Syria breaks out into conflict with Saudi, they even take Lebanon in a day. And don't worry, hey, don't forget that they didn't start any wars or invade Israeli forces, because we stopped that war. And so they move over and they capture Tehran. With Iran's surrender, it's time to sign a peace treaty. Let's see how it goes. And big chunks of Iran. Much harsher than this treaty should have been. Pretty harsh treaty. Kind of like the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, signed by the Germans and Russians in World War I. Much harsher than the Treaty of Versailles. Much harsher. Although then again, they recovered from that quickly. They would do even better if they managed to figure out how to take over Poland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Finland, Romania, Hungary. Well, they stole some lands, and now they take a spearhead up to Ankara. With the fall of Ankara, the Turkish nation is forced to surrender. Ankara fell because before they could get mobile. Southern Turkey, mostly the Kurdish regions of Turkey. And well, they decide to invade two countries, Israel and Palestine. Or is it one country? Or is it three countries? Who even knows? It could be two countries, it could be one country, it could be one other country. It can be whatever you want it to be. I'll just call this part of the map. Yeah, that's a good name. And Saudi Arabia annexes part of the map. And then they annex the water. Oh wait, this is not the Netherlands. And well, they invade Egypt. But they decide to invade Sudan at the same time. And Egypt thinks they'll win. They'll win. Because they're strong. With the Suez Canal quickly seized by Saudi Arabia. And while they move in behind Cairo and Alexandria, the capitals, and they move in slowly. And they capture both cities. They capture the capital, Cairo. And while Egypt tries to get back the city quick, but when this counteroffensive fails, they're in a bit of trouble. As well, Saudi starts taking these land, and when they connect both fronts, this is where Egypt decides to surrender. And well, now they're moving from two fronts in towards Khartoum. With these two fronts meeting and Khartoum's encircled, and then once it falls, Sudan surrenders. So let's see the peace treaty. Dominating the Red Sea, the Persian Gulf, and the Suez Canal. So every country better get on Saudi Arabia's good side. And well, that's pretty much all for today's video, as Saudi Arabia has formed their empire. Bye guys! See you in the next video.